I want a sandwich. Now. Oh, sandwich wench. Yo, wench. Sandwich. Now. I'm going to need a sandwich. A sandwich. I'm going to need a sandwich. Sandwich. I'm going to need a sandwich. A sandwich. A sandwich. A sandwich. I'm going to need a sandwich. Sandwich. I'm going to need a sandwich. A sandwich. A sandwich. Oh, sandwich wench. I want a sandwich. Sandwich.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another political recap stream here on the Moistski Live channel. I know it's been a couple of weeks, a hot minute perhaps, depending on where you are in the world and how often you watch this channel, but we're back for another show to boomer our way through the bullshit. Joining me to discuss some of that aforementioned bullshit is Trups. Say hello, Trups.
Hello, Trups.
We got an ad, Trups.
I know. We don't get those.
No, I'm usually demonetized straight away, so, well, especially
you
for
didn't
these.
put anything in the title this time, so maybe that's why.
Well, to be fair, I haven't for weeks, and I normally get hit anyway after the stream. But you know what? We'll still earn money from that. We may make a whole cent.
Ah, well, you know, with inflation, right?
It's pretty high right now.
That cent may be worth less.
You know, it might be worth something in countries like Vietnam and Zimbabwe, where their respective currencies are worth fuck all. And Venezuela. Yeah. Jinx.
I was gonna say, is it worth more than RuneScape Gold?
Well, it's probably not worth as much. Answer. No, I don't know the answer actually. Cause if you said WoW Gold, I might know. It's been a while, although they don't do the gold anymore, do they?
Quick comment about that. I randomly got I've been playing some Overwatch lately, and I randomly got a gift of like a WoW subscription to WoW Classic and a free token.
Oh man, yeah, I'd play that.
Do you really?
I would play it.
I don't know if I would.
I'd play it until it ran out, and then I'd stop playing again.
Well, right. I feel like I missed the boat, though, right? Like, playing through 20 years plus of content is not...
Oh, no, I wouldn't play that much. I'd do a couple missions, and I'd fuck off, because I get bored.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I don't have the attention span for World of Warcraft. I only played it when I was unemployed, and when I got a job, because I had nothing to do during the day. It was because everyone was at work, because I worked nights. I had nothing to do. It was boring.
I'm sorry.
That is a random fact, though. I know it's all good now, though, because now I work during the day like everyone else, and I still work at night.
You know, it sucks, though. You know, I'm sure you also understand, you know, missing the times when we had opportunities to play through games. And,
the good old days.
On a game.
Yeah, no, I get you.
Like, don't get me wrong. If I could do that as a job, I would.
I mean, I try to on Twitch, but unfortunately I don't make enough money to on Twitch. I do play games, so...
I literally could sit and play games every day.
Yeah.
4 hours.
I could, but I can't do the conversation part. This is where I struggle on Twitch, because I can't... Otherwise, I'd stream longer. I'd stream for longer knowing...
Stop taking my Adderall.
Wait, what?
If I stopped taking my Adderall, I could probably hold the conversation.
You lucky mother fluffer. I can't do that.
Know.
I can for an hour and a half now. I used to do 2 hours, and I went down to an hour. Now I'm climbing back up again. We're fine. We're getting there. I just now only stream Monday to Friday, though. That gives me Saturday and Sunday to recharge. I think that really helps. Instead of streaming 6 days a week, down to 5, and just make the streams longer and try to be better and more consistent.
There you go.
So how's Trups been for the last 2 weeks?
You know, I've been all right. I got my LARP adventure going on. Oh, that was fun. We're dealing with some Day the Earth Stood Still remake level fucking.
I'm very jealous.
Oh, are you?
Well, yeah,
Oh yeah,
I don't get to LARP, do I?
No, and I did say that I was going to take you.
If and when, well, when?
Yeah.
Yes.
I maintain that I still will.
Oh, good. It'd be a laugh as I act like a complete.
It'd be great.
Does anyone put on a fake English accent? Just be honest.
Yes,
with me.
there is one person.
Oh,
I think you had talked to Ashley about that. There is one person that I can think of that puts on a fake English accent.
Can you imagine the briefest encounter I have to suffer this accent? Just me. It feels very.
Honestly, you would love the guy. The guy, like, he has my type of humor, and if not mine, a little darker.
I do like. To be fair, I do like a good dark joke. I really do.
So
I'm not allowed to say half
feel like
of them.
You'd get along with him.
I have said so many inappropriate jokes, and I have to be so careful on YouTube because I can't. I've said them on Discord, and I've had to wait until certain people left the VC because I knew they couldn't handle the joke.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, I've made some really bad jokes, but I think we all have.
You what? No.
No.
We're family friendly, ad friendly on this channel. We don't make crass or off color jokes.
No. For example, I have never said at any point when I got the ring that had my mother's ashes in, if I put this on my cock, does it count as incest? No, I never said that. You can't.
Why did I take a drink from the bottle? I almost died. I was drinking my water, and you said that, and it's in my nose. Why?
Prove shit. Okay, you can't prove it. All right.
Why? Well, how are you before that spirals into a conversation?
You know, yeah, I would actually go. Yeah, no. I'm all actually weirdly. Quick thing. I was watching some prison documentaries and I got a recommended British what's it called? Dispatches documentary on incest in the United Kingdom. Just thought I'd insert that.
A theme for this?
No, that was certainly it was a much more Islamic thing. There were one or two white couples, yes, but mostly Muslim, and it was very very insightful to understand the barriers that existed then and now. So I'm okay. I have acquired, as you saw on Twitter, my very favourite bottle of whiskey. It was hard to get hold of, and what annoys me more is the actual one. Although it is the same one, it's just there's a slight difference. But the actual one is double the price and went on afterwards. But I was very happy to get that because that comes from I've been wanting that for a long time. So
there you go.
Only issue is the cork is a bit mangled, so I'm gonna either get a replacement. Or
cork, everyone. He said cork.
Get a replacement cock, but thing is, this is a rare bottle, so I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. Or hopefully, this one will dry out enough to be salvageable. There are holes in it though, so I'm not convinced. But other than that, I've been keeping busy with YouTube. I have just uploaded a video that I'm toying with releasing soon. I was going to say,
don't you have like a 30-something minute video that you have to release?
Well, it's on my main channel now. It's uploaded, waiting for it to get through monetization. The thing is, this one's a risky one. This one's risky because the person I'm doing it on has flagged over 137 videos. This guy is a twat. And also, in my video, you see him literally smack his partner 3 times. Hard.
Oh, well.
And
good luck with that monetization.
Well, not just that, just getting it through the system in general. And then, hopefully it's good enough for people to watch. Because that's where I'm also kind of not sure. So I'm going to toy... Because I was going to release it in December when it would be the best month to make money from it, I guess. Because that's my job. But...
It depends on if the topic is still hot.
It's hot now. That's the thing.
Then drop it now.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But yeah, that's it really. Video stuff, streaming stuff, and now back here. How exciting.
Yes. And now we're back to this. Yeah. So, the one thing that I wanted to start off with as a kind of a small thing that we enjoy, I sent Meg a MMA UFC fighter.
Oh, the fucking tombstone. Oh my god.
Who actually tombstoned his opponent in the middle of a match.
Did it work?
I mean, yeah, it did.
Fam, he drops him on his head. That doesn't feel like mixed martial arts. That feels like, I don't know. It feels like he used him as a battering ram for the floor.
Well, even the commentators, they said that it was legal. And
is it? That's interesting. I didn't know that.
And afterward, he taps the guy who got tombstoned, and apparently it was his shoulder that made him tap out. Because I think actually what happened was he dropped him on his shoulder, not on his head.
Oh well, that makes sense because Hulk Hogan once made that complaint.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan made that complaint with the Undertaker, even though his shoulder never touched anything.
Yeah, because I just watched the video back again, and yeah, he basically he puts him more on his back because the guy is like clutching onto the legs to avoid his head being.
What weight class is this?
Are
they quite big?
I know it said on the first thing, do welterweight.
Ah, the best weight then, to be honest.
Mm.
Okay, good to know. That's very interesting.
I thought that would be something that you enjoy.
Oh, I do. I remember being younger and as a whippersnapper and doing it on bouncy castles with friends. It was always a good laugh.
Oh yeah, trampolines.
Oh yeah, Suplex City.
Batista bombing your cousins. It's great.
Yeah. Power bombs are amazing on a trampoline, especially when they bounce up and you can do it again.
Mm-hmm. Or more likely the younger cousin, who's a solid 2-3 years younger, who 10 versus 13-year-olds bounces a little too far, falls off the trampoline, starts crying to mom, and then we're no longer allowed to play because wah.
F.
That happens.
I remember. Thankfully, my mother never stopped me doing that.
Oh well, some would say that's good or bad. I don't know.
I think it was good because she thought if I got hit my head enough times, it would knock a little sense out of my head. Because I was kind of, even though I didn't say much, I would always correct people if I could.
Oh yeah, well that's one way to. That's one way to put it. Sure.
I stopped doing it. I stopped doing it when I was an adult. Come on.
All right. So where do you want to start? I know that we had posted a whole bunch of stuff.
Okay. I'd like to talk about, if that's okay with you, I'd like to talk about your student loan forgiveness.
Okay.
This is Biden administration's student loan plan. The forgiving debt is $20,000 if you went to college on Pell Grants. Tell me about those in a minute. $10,000 if you didn't receive a Pell Grant. Forgiveness only applies to those earning less than $125,000. I don't know if that's a lot or not. The student loan has been pause extended one final time through December 31st, 2022. And the payment based on income, if you have undergraduate loans, you can cap repayment at 5% of your monthly income. Discuss. Okay.
So to start, a Pell Grant is a loan that is mainly given out to. It's a subsidy given by the government that is given to low income families in order for them to pay for college.
Okay.
You have to apply and then qualify, but that's mainly what it does.
Yeah.
Now it is $20,000 if you did take a Pell Grant, and then it would be $10,000 if you make under $125,000, or I believe it's $250,000 if you are a married couple.
Really? Tell me, is $125,000 a year a lot?
I'd say so. If you want to use as a reference, teachers on average in this country make about $60,000 a year.
Okay, they make about double what ours make.
Right. And that's it's an average across teachers. So you have like professors in college that make bullshit amounts of money. They don't count.
Okay, our university teachers, lecturers don't make that much.
Right. So technically, I would actually be able to get the $10,000 myself. In fact, and I've kind of rolled it around. It's one of those things that I don't like it. I don't like that it is a thing that we are doing in this country.
Yeah.
but at the same time, I also acknowledge the fact that it would be beneficial for me to take advantage of the program. It's a weird like middle ground to be in because on the one hand, it feels as if I do take the opportunity and actually take advantage of the program, then I'm taking advantage of a system that I said was wrong ethically, versus not taking advantage of it and remaining in, however much student debt I still have.
So I have a question then with regards to these injections of money in the form of the forgiving debt part. If you're is that 10 grand just taken off your
Yes.
yeah, because it never stated this, but I figured I had to ask if it went straight to the whoever loaned the money. And yeah, okay, that's good to know.
Likely what it would be, it would go to, like, for us, Sally Mae is the loan giver for schools that most people are
I was just called
with.
the student loan company. Okay.
Well, I don't know the origin of the term.
No,
All I
I
know is that
okay,
it's Sally Mae.
that's fair. That makes sense. So I guess the next question is forgiveness. Do you support this idea, this loan debt plan? The idea of cancelling out 20 grand or 10 grand?
So I have mixed opinions. So on the one hand, the negative, I don't like it because it makes everybody who has paid off their loans, it makes them feel as if they got gypped, as if they got taken advantage of, that they could have just held out till now and gotten their kept 10,000 in their pocket, right? On the other hand, I feel as if the loan system is predatory. Because
Same as your insurance companies, isn't it?
Well, them too, but in the sense that one could take out loans that they may not get a return on investment for. So something along the lines of, okay, I want, to go to school for my, my art sciences degree, which is a contradictory degree that cannot exist. Then I would be able to perhaps, get rid of that loan.
Yeah.
If I happen to get a very well-paying job as a professor teaching that. But realistically, probably not going to be able to pay back the loan with such a degree. Those kinds of people, I think, they approached college as a whimsical thing and didn't necessarily take full account of what it would mean to take on debt, versus somebody who, let's say, goes into engineering, who does have the ability to pay back those loans because they will say sacrificed their dreams for something more realistic. And that sounds a lot more jaded than it's supposed to be. So it's a mixed bag. Like, on one hand, people have taken out loans for bad reasons, and the other one is that, so the predatory loan thing, if let's say you can't make the average payment, because not every payment policy is income based. Some of it is just you have to pay this amount and you owe this much by the end of some time frame.
Yeah.
If you don't pay that, then you accrue interest, and at some points, that interest can overtake the initial cost, the principal of the loan you took out in the first place.
Are there no standards on that? Like,
sometimes
rules?
It depends on the kind of loan you took out. But no one really teaches this very well because, of course, the company that you're about to take, let's say, the uncapped loan from, wants you to not be able to pay it back because that's their entire profit.
Earlobes, I need rubbing right now. I'm feeling very Ferengi.
Yeah.
Rules of acquisition apply here.
Yes, basically. So if you don't know, then that's beneficial for them. It's a very, very strange thing going on with that.
If the forgiveness applies to those earning less than 125 grand, that must apply to a huge number of people. Bear in mind here, if you're earning over that anyway, surely you could pay off your loan easily. Well, actually, to be fair, I don't know how much your loans got up to, but I would have thought if you're making 125 grand a year, chances are you could pay off your loan anyway.
It depends on
how expensive are your degrees?
Okay, so I mean it can range. I mean, let's say you went for a full graduate degree, then you stacked on an additional $25,000 just in graduate degrees.
Okay, yours are a lot more
your undergrad might have been, if you took out loans without being able to pay any of it, you're looking at anywhere from between $15,000 for your full 40-year. Looking at like technical schools, or I guess in that case it'd be like 2 years. Up to things like $75,000-$80,000.
Really? God damn it! That's so much more expensive than ours. Insane. Your system is balked. Ours is so much easier. Ours is expensive, but not that expensive. Fucking hell.
Well, some universities are private, and this is why
a lot of ours are, and they still don't go above a certain cap. That's impressive. That is an impressive. I mean, I understand why some are considered prestigious, but no doubt a lot of that fee goes on.
Well, a lot of those things that I mentioned that are upwards of like $70,000. Those are your Ivy Leagues.
I was about to say
ones that tout their ability to steal your money.
And quotes here, get the best out of you. Okay, so the student loan pause. What's this?
Since COVID, people were obviously with jobs not being so stable during times of COVID, they had put a pause on your requirement to pay your student loans.
Okay.
This could be basically you can't accrue interest at this time. You're not expected to pay it back, anything like that. And that's been going on since I'm going to guess and say about May 2020. It might have been in April.
Yeah. Okay. That makes more sense.
So they extended the pause, it sounds like, till, was it November?
December 2022.
Okay. So yeah, that's where that all came from, or went, that
okay.
stuff.
Cap your repayment at 5% of your monthly income. Just so I know, because the way I did it, so this is how first of all, my loan, I didn't have loans, I had grants for my living expenses. I worked. So I worked and paid for everything. I didn't have loans. So I don't know how repaying works. What is the, I'm sure you've done this, what is the repayment percentage of monthly income usually?
So, I want to say it's somewhere along the lines of see, I think this also depends on which loan you get. But
different, yeah, okay.
I know that when I got out of college and I started working, that my expected payment was, I think, about $250 a month.
Is that a lot?
Yeah.
I don't want to ask what you earn a month, but is that is that more than 5%?
Because I don't think it's more than 5%. No.
He's flush, everyone.
Well, the benefit I had was that I was lucky enough to have a vehicle that I did not have to make payments on.
That's handy.
And so, so that was really why it wasn't as painful to me as it would be to some other people.
Okay.
So I was very lucky in that regard.
That is fortunate, and that the vehicle lasted, I guess.
It did.
Good. Okay, well that answers all my questions. Okay, No, it doesn't. There is another question. There has been much debate on this on Twitter, because it's Twitter, discussing whether or not this will lead to further inflation or not. Now, I said on Twitch that I think this will lead to inflation, just not to the severity that many on Twitter believe.
Mhm.
Others saying, and those that disagree with me on Twitch said, no, because people are going to spend more money. What do you think?
So I'm of the belief that what you're going to see is people are going to have that 10,000, taken away. And basically that may put depending on how the internal machinations of their, repayment, internally is going to work. So like if they're doing repayment based on tax breaks, or how they're going to allow basically a whole bunch of companies to eat this loss, I'm not entirely sure. However, what I can say is that I do believe it's going to be inflationary, because we had the Fed come out today saying that they're still going to increase interest rates at this time, which means that regardless of having more money theoretically in your pocket, you still aren't going to want to spend it, because it's still a very volatile situation financially in this country.
Yeah.
Most people are going to be very careful about what they spend their money on, or perhaps should be. And I do not believe that with people having quote unquote more money in their pocket, they are just going to spend more.
Yeah. Okay, so do you want some numbers, perhaps, to make this a bit more interesting? It's estimated 43 million Americans owe a combined total of $1.6 trillion in federal student debt. Nearly one-fifth of them owe less than $10,000. Chuck Schumer and Elizabeth Warren were the ones that pushed Joe Biden to use his executive power to wipe out borrower debts, but their plans were a little bit higher. $50,000 per borrower.
Okay.
Now, it's estimated from the Penn Wharton budget model at the University of Pennsylvania that this will cost, the model that Biden's introduced, it will cost $300 billion, which some say, oh, that's nothing. It's nothing. Motherfucker, you guys haven't got any money.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
going to say, it's nothing to who? I mean, I guess it's nothing to the people who continue.
Nothing to the guy in office. It's nothing to the guy in office, because he won't be there long enough to see the effects of how much damage this potentially... As you know, he will be. This is done solely for optics, for midterms.
Oh, absolutely it is.
It is not done because he believes in what he's doing. The motherfucker still thinks to be American is to be... That malfunction he did.
Words.
When he malfunctioned, he literally malfunctioned.
No, I know.
It was glorious. I tried my best to emulate my idol here, Sleepy.
Oh, you did great.
Okay. Well, that's that. I'm not. No. There's nothing more to add on that.
I mean, right. I don't know necessarily what they're going to do with that policy per se. All I know is that with its current trajectory, I can't imagine that it won't cause inflation. Like, it would be hard for me to believe that it's just going to be fine. That almost seems like I'm not living in reality if I presume that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where my thought is on that. They have to. It has to cost something. There's nothing in this world that you get for free. So to say $300 billion might be true. Might be correct.
Yeah. Well, now it will.
Certainly not nothing.
Don't forget here, if he's introduced this, is this something that then rolls around in the future as well? Or is this just for now?
So I don't know if anybody actually has a good answer to that, because some people have asked, like, okay, so does this mean that, practices are going to be changing, like how this works, or are we just going to fix, put the Band-Aid on it but not fix the problem?
I thought perhaps what they were going to do instead was introduce it as a permanent replacement, which meant that instead they'd just pay the 10 to 20 grand straight to the university, who in turn will just up their fucking tuition fees anyway.
Well, that's part of the reason why we got to this point in the first place, is that universities decided they wanted more money.
Yeah, they didn't need it, they just wanted it. And that's fair. Capitalism.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
Some of these are state universities.
Yeah, they're just dicks.
Yeah.
Okay. Where would you like to go to next then?
Okay, so, want to talk about Fauci?
Oh yeah! The hero of COVID. He deserves a Medal of Honor. Don't you agree?
No. But the dumbass does have his own, ceremonial candle. You know, like the candles that are in the Dollar General of like Jesus or Mary vocational candle type.
I mean, I still
whatever.
want to buy the figurine because I thought it was fucking hilarious.
Well, he has his own fucking candle.
Can someone buy that for me and send it to me? And get me the Fauci figurine for science?
Fuck.
I want him in my bathroom to make my bowel movements easier.
I don't know if I would want this man in my house at all. I mean, the guy's already got the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2008.
Well, Obama had to give it to somebody.
Well, actually, this was by Bush.
Fair point. I thought
Yeah.
2008. Oh no, 2009, isn't it? You're right.
Well, 2008 was the election year, so
Yeah, no, you're right. It would be Obama in 2009 when he's inaugurated. Yeah.
correct.
Right. Okay. So,
Anyway,
what would you like to talk about with Fauci?
So he plans to step down, leave government service in December. He wants to, quote unquote, pursue the next chapter of his career.
What
So
career? He's in
not
his
gonna-
fucking 80s. He should be retired.
I agree, but he's not done. I don't know.
What's he gonna do? Prostate checks?
I mean, maybe.
I doubt his
I mean,
works anymore.
He is President Biden's top medical advisor, so like the colonoscopy had to be advised by somebody.
I'm pretty sure that was actually done by some of the older Egyptian types that used to embalm and mummify pharaohs. They just stuck a hook up
Yeah,
his
but that
ass
was
and
through
hoped
the
for the
nose.
best. No, they stuck a hook up his ass and went for the best.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, so apparently, also 81, by the way.
He's in his 80s. I figured as much.
Allegedly, his retiring isn't retiring in the classic sense, but he wants to, quote, devote himself to traveling, writing, and encouraging young people to enter government service.
Okay.
Which is a really nice way to say, I want you to sell your soul.
So, would you like to hear a rather interesting comment made by someone who's not a big fan of him?
I would love to.
I am just sick of seeing him. I know he says he's going to retire. Someone needs to grab that little elf and chuck him across the Potomac. Potomac?
Potomac.
Potomac. Thank you. I had to
Yeah.
guess that pronunciation. That was Ron DeSantis. He sounds like he's a happy. He's a happy chappy, isn't he? He made the comment during
I kinda feel
the
that.
Keep Florida Free event,
Uh-huh.
a GOP event thing.
Hmm.
I like that comment. Someone needs to grab that little elf and chuck him across the place.
Potomac River.
Thank you, Potomac. Is that Potomac? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Everything that we have in this country is either named after British or French things, or Indians.
Okay.
In this case, it's Indians.
I think it's strange because I would say for Fauci's age, he doesn't look horrendous, unlike others near his age bracket that have some, rather interested insider trading problems. Totally haven't broken the law. They totally haven't.
Some people do age a lot nicer than others.
Yeah, and some require, insider trading to pay for the Botox. But I don't see. I don't see what. Yeah, I don't see what. I mean, if he hasn't. Thing is, in this country, generally older doctors aren't as active on purpose. They're used as a last resort, really, now. He's in his 80s. What can he do as a doctor?
I mean, technically he would still probably be an advisor of sorts.
So he won't be doing. He might
Likely,
sit on a board somewhere.
probably. If not, he would probably write a book, go on a tour, probably do some speeches, get a lot of payment from there.
Does he need the money though? Really?
Depends on whether or not he got paid personally by the Chinese government or not.
Or for any of those figurines?
I don't know if he got anything from those figurines.
What about, is there a pop vinyl of him or something? Highly collectible.
Somebody did request one. There is one that doesn't have. It's not Fauci per se, but it is a quote unquote first responder, and I say quote unquote first responder because it's technically actually a second responder.
Oh, I'd like to see him in 2 movies. I'd like to see him as one of the elves in Santa's workshop making wooden toys. Wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like to see him as a gremlin in a reboot. He's the right height for it, and he looks pretty similar to a gremlin. Put him in a dress and some lipstick, and he's perfect.
Oh, totally. I would hate that.
I mean, nightmare fuel does exist for a reason.
Yes, it does, and I hate every bit of it.
I'm okay with this. Someone's going to think I'm making a really inappropriate joke or anything. If you've never seen Gremlins, one of the Gremlins does dress up as a female. And my brother-in-law has the figurine of it. So now just imagine Fauci instead dressing.
Now I remember everything that you... Yeah, it's now in my brain.
You got it. He has that figurine. He regretted buying that one as well, because he was like, I wanted the other one. Like, we're here for 30 fucking minutes, you cunt. We're going, you prick. You're buying that one. I can't be honest.
Yeah, I hate it. I hate it now. It's in my head, it's not getting out, and I'm cursed.
My work is done, stream's over, everyone.
I blame you.
I'll take the blame, I don't care. There. I don't mind. I'll take the blame. So if he steps down from what is his current role?
So he's the top medical advisor for President Biden, and he's also the director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases.
Right, ignore the second one. Who replaces him?
No idea. I don't think they've released any kind of information about that, but probably
they've got to get it cleared by his carers first.
Well, it's not gonna be like Biden's like personal doctor. They have their own.
Yeah, no, I get you. Whoever changes Biden's nappy is not going to approve of this.
Right. It's probably gonna be. It's got to be somebody else. Who though I will probably have like somebody that comes out of the woodwork that like has been completely irrelevant for the last 10 years.
Has Fauci been the top senior medical advisor for presidents or just Biden?
He has been the top advisor for presidents in the past. I believe he was also Bill Clinton's.
What about Bush and Trump?
I'm not sure. Around that time was the no, I'm sorry. The Bill Clinton thing was Bill Barr. That was the Attorney General. Never mind. I'm pretty sure Fauci has been a top medical advisor. I know that it was part of the AIDS epidemic that he was in center stage before this. So that would be at the turn of the millennia, right? So
that would be, yeah.
So potentially Bush Sr.?
Bush Sr. was before Clinton.
Right, but I know that he's also worked with Reagan, so it's weird. Like, I have no fucking idea.
Well, hang on, that would surely mean he may have worked for Carter as well.
Fuck, man. This man is ancient. Like, he's worked for that National Center for 38 fucking years.
I'll give him credit. He's got the long service on his side. His more recent COVID shit was just embarrassing.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you who he worked for before, but I'm pretty sure he has worked with other presidents.
That's good. That's interesting because that I can't fault a man for long time service. I really can't. Mm-hmm. Dedication to one's profession, absolutely, 100%. But I'm on the internet and we think you're all cunts, so get used to it.
Well, I mean, that's just because they are.
They are. And I'm sure he has some, private, interests in things that he probably shouldn't. Insider trading, maybe.
I did hear about, there was some talk about him enjoying all male bathhouses.
Nothing wrong with a bathhouse.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing.
Yep,
not even here to judge either.
Yep, especially during like the AIDS epidemic.
Hey, look, we all need a wash, all right?
Yeah, that's what you can tell yourself that. That's fine.
Yep, just that. Nothing at all.
Yep, there is no homosexuality happening at all.
Nothing at all.
Governments are totally clean. How dare you insinuate?
They're squeaky clean on the outside and up their arseholes. Wait, who said that? Don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that's Fauci. He's also done wonderful damage control recently.
Oh, yeah?
He's been asked by several people, like, so do you regret locking everything down now that COVID pandemic is like mostly over? And he goes, I didn't lock anything down.
Oh, that's just playing semantics.
Oh, I know, but he's such a fucking gaslighter.
Yeah, nah, motherfucker. You were a part of it. In fact, you said it would be a good idea to stay there.
Yeah, and a bunch of channels have called out like, what do you mean? It's right here. Literally everyone can see this. You are not fooling anybody.
Yeah, no. I'm sorry. We live in an age of internet. Nothing is truly erased. You got no chance of saying you didn't do something with this. Sorry, fam. That's not how we roll here.
And you know what? He shouldn't get away with it, because if people want to criticize him as decisions that he made in his professional capacity, especially as a government advisor, well, hey, we get to criticize our fucking government, so...
Yeah.
You didn't like it, fucking pick a different job.
Damn right.
But yeah, so that's the shit that we're dealing with that asshole. Okay, so before we jump into the other thing that I had pulled up,
the Trump thing.
What's going on in UK?
I am glad you asked. For this, I'm now going to provide you a definition of price cap, energy price cap, more notably. The energy price cap, as set out in law, puts a maximum price per unit on energy that reflects what it costs to buy energy on the wholesale market and supply it to our homes. It also sets a strict and modest profit rate that suppliers can make from domestic energy sales. This is important because the cost of energy has blown the fuck up to levels we've never had it in this country. So, the price cap in the United Kingdom is currently, per year, £1,971. From October, that's going to go up to £3,549. That is an increase of £1,600. Close to double. That's not great, really, is it? That is a massive increase, and it is believed by January it'll be closer to £6,000, which will be 3 times what it currently is now. There is a genuine fear in the United Kingdom, because the energy price cap could potentially rise by more than 80%, that people in the winter are going to now struggle more. Heating, people are going to start turning it off. This has led to countries like Germany, and I put a source in our tab, they have outright started to they've approved energy-saving measures. Mm-hmm. Turn heating down in public buildings and wean their own people off Russian gas, and obviously encourage people to use less heating in the winter. The elderly struggle enough as it is to heat their homes. Now they're fucked. And the same applies to a lot of younger people who, well, they can't do anything about this now. They can't afford, they're going to struggle, they're going to try and, they're going to struggle to pay their bills, and it's going to cause either more debt or more people having to rely on just wearing extra layers in the winter. Our homes are not built to retain heat at the best of times. They're really not. We're old-fashioned homes. Cavity insulation or using Celotex now or cladding isn't as effective as people think it is, and I don't think people are going to start stocking up on Yankee candles to heat their rooms with a little ceramic dish on top just to spread the heat. It's not feasible. And it is believed by charities and by, quote, experts that this price cap will potentially cost people lives. It will risk young people's health. And hang on, who was the expert? Oh, Martin Lewis is the expert. Okay, he's a money-saving expert. He's actually all right. Thing is, we have politicians who say there's nothing wrong with companies making a little profit. The problem you've got is your little profit is a fucking huge profit. And so the idea that Ofgem are going to... They've said what they're going to do is they're going to update the price cap level, but tighten up the rules on suppliers. Now, they believe that the price cap is based on transparent methodology and calculations by Ofgem. And that is because the increase now reflects the continued rise in global wholesale gas prices. And this has been driven higher because of Russia. That's why this is going up. The thing is, we had chance to fix this. Not with Russia, but alternate sources, and we didn't take it. Many countries didn't consider it or go near it. I think that the problem with the price cap going up is that we don't have a cost of living to go up with it. So we're not earning enough to be able to counter that. Families, majority, struggle enough to get by on... what was it? So we were saying instead that... Oh, I forgot what I was going to say. You coughed.
I did.
I'd completely forgotten what I was saying. Oh, it doesn't. You know, it doesn't. It's fine.
Increases.
Yeah, no, it's all capped. I think the government isn't doing anything to tackle this, and it's causing additional pressure. Okay, that was it. The what people earn, they have less than. This is where it's going to cause inflation issues as well, because people have less money to spend because they're spending it on energy bills instead. Which means they're counting the pennies with what they spend on food, which in turn causes issues for retailers. This is going to hurt everyone. It's actually hurting companies in the United Kingdom who can't afford now to keep their buildings running. Many businesses have already had to start shutting down because they can't afford their electric bill. This is what's happened. And the government's response is akin to, they were weak. Because they don't see them as a viable option as a business, forgetting here that we need those businesses because we can't just rely on Amazon for everything. I wouldn't have got my Johnny Walker Gold from Amazon. They don't have it. I say that pointing at the bottle.
Oh, yes, of course.
What is the what about the cost of energy in your country? Is it up 80% yet?
No, it's not. I have seen increases in my energy bill, but nothing like what you are describing.
Okay.
So I guess that's a benefit, but I think it's also part of the fact that we have our gas prices, which are like going down theoretically.
Yeah.
And I say theoretically because I'm not quite sure what the driving force of that is, and it sounds sketchy to me.
Yeah.
But we have those prices going down, so logically your heating and your energy prices would also go down because the fuel source is not as expensive. I don't know how much that actually translates to what is actually happening, but I do know that I did see a massive jump at one point into what my personal energy bill was for my house.
Yeah.
To then, to I don't think we are having the same kind of problems. But I did see on some posts that there are many people in the UK that are very upset with the government, sending money to Ukraine, but not helping out the crisis that is currently occurring within your borders.
Yeah. So there is some data I can present.
Hmm.
The average UK household electric usage per day is between 8.5 to 10 kilowatts per hour. So that's what we use per day, average. Okay.
Hmm.
Um, Current price is 28p per kilowatt hour. It will go up to 52 pence, right? There's a
Hmm.
belief, because in 2019-2020, that same energy bill was about 1100. Well, if this year it's going to go up to just over 3.5 grand, it is believed by April it'll be over 6 grand. It is believed that the prepay meter, anyone who has a prepay meter instead of a contract, they'll see theirs go up by about £60, which isn't a huge amount, but it is if you're on those, because usually you're pay-as-you-go types.
Hmm.
Because your bill is still going to go up to about 3.5 grand a year, regardless. Analysts in Cornwall, the ones that have speculated that price cap will have to climb to 5,400 in January and then 6,600 in April, all because we don't have a viable option to replace the gas we require. And anyone who keeps saying, but solar, 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 we live in England, you miserable fucks. You know damn well we can't produce that much, and no one has the money for MTTPs to put on all their panels. It'd be an absolute ball ache. There was an analyst for the BBC who had said that the energy price cap will drain the disposable income of several million households. It's not an issue which will it's not just an issue which will transform the path of the economy. These rises are so large and so widespread they could test the nation's social resilience. At a recent meeting with the government to discuss the Energy Tariff Deficit Fund, a key takeaway was that not one energy firm believed it is feasible to charge the nation what the companies themselves are having to pay to purchase gas. So that gaping hole that is getting larger every day, week, month is now in the hands of the government.
Oh, yay!
I like this argument that it's that not one energy company believed it's feasible to charge the nation what the companies themselves have to pay to purchase gas.
So I mean, like that's kind of what we've been discussing, not necessarily this week as much, but like over the past couple of weeks. The real price of the ongoing conflict in Ukraine and us being such staunch defenders of the Ukrainians is at the cost of our own citizens. And some people have said in the past that, oh well, you know, we must do this for the benefit of Ukraine or whatever. And I just don't know if I buy it. I don't know if I buy that. You know, our respective countries must suffer in order to play proxy chess with Russia and Ukraine. Oh, by the way, depending on the region that you're in the United States, it has gone up. So electricity price per kilowatt, it has gone up overall for June, July. The Northeast actually went down a cent. Middle Atlantic went down 6 cents. Midwest went up 2 cents. West, North, Central went up 3. The South went up 11.
Okay.
Yeah. So it kind of depends where you're at. Looks like.
Fair enough. That makes it all rather interesting, really, doesn't it? Scrap the green levy and cut VAT. They won't, though,
well,
because
remember,
they want us to be seen doing good things.
We just passed that Inflationary Reduction Act, which has a whole lot of green policy in it.
Yeah?
Which they, I guess...
Oh, I was referring to a UK thing.
Oh.
I think in the chat, Cyrene might be referring to what we do, I think.
Oh.
But that's actually, I did hear about your one, so I'm actually quite interested. By all means, do continue.
Well, I was just going to say, things like the Green New Deal's policies, or at least the intentions behind a lot of climate reduction or global climate change reduction efforts are in the Inflationary Reduction Act, which is really funny considering the nature of that of that Inflationary Reduction Act includes, spending
Mm-hmm.
to climate policy.
Okay.
Um,
Well, I guess this now leads on to any and all discussion with regards to your soon-to-be put in prison former president.
oh yeah, of course.
And away
Yeah,
he goes.
so right. So that's a thing that people have been saying. Um, we had talked about it last week. It was about well, not last week, but the week before. The FBI raid on Trump's Mar-a-Lago home, where FBI seized, I believe it was, like I think it was like 19 boxes, of which they found like 126 something um, documents that have various classification markings on it. And what's super interesting to me is that there was a counter narrative that was coming out, talking about how, oh, well, it's funny that everyone's up in arms about the mishandling of classified data now, given that not too long ago we were having the same discussion about former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. And oh, it's so interesting how information just kind of falls by the wayside and people just happen to forget certain things. Now, both sides have used this argument, in the sense that one side is saying, how can you be supportive of Donald Trump when you wanted to, quote unquote, lock her up?
Yeah.
And the contrary to that is, how can you say lock him up when you said ignore this? At least for the conservative side, precedent based on the Democrat policy says, well, I guess we don't actually care. So it's a matter of who are you asking about the problem, because it could be, well, anybody who is looking at the issue going, well, ish, right? It's one way or the other, maybe. It really depends on what side you're on. At this point, it's just it's fallen to strict political lines, and there is no resolving this problem.
So when's Trump going to prison?
At least that's the Twitter part. At least they did release the affidavit today, after getting requests. And
Thank you, Neferbeth, for the donation.
Oh, thank you. And Trump going off on True Social saying, "Hey, we need to release this affidavit," all that stuff. Well, they released it today, and it looks about as you'd expect, fucking black.
Yeah, it was heavily redacted, I noticed.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I took away from it was what everyone else noticed, and that it seemed that Trump and his lawyer are at odds with something. I don't know what, though. Like conflicting reports in other aspects of.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. I'm not totally sure what that part was about it, but there was some like hints and some comments within the document talking about looking for evidence of obstruction, or that obstruction evidence could be found potentially at Mar-a-Lago, which is a weird way to say we don't have a case, but we might find one if we raid this man.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know whether or not they're going to do anything with it. One guy had said, well, it's very unusual for an FBI or an investigation unit to release an affidavit unless they were at the tail end of their investigation and no longer had a concern, or not as much of a concern, to actually keep certain documents, privy. I don't know whether that applies here because of the nature of, the fact that Donald Trump was asking for it, and there was this whole push in order to get more people looking at this stuff. So I'm not necessarily sure if that if that kind of tracks with the rest of it. We will have to see, but right now a lot of people are basically calling out saying, "Hey, this is bullshit, to say the least." And the FBI still have a lot of explaining to do because their raid is still seen as fully partisan and fully bullshit.
That partisan thing, they're never going to be able to shift that, though, are they?
Well, no, but it may come that the FBI is more exposed for how they handle things.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see Twitter this morning about what was trending because of Joe Rogan?
No, I've seen many things trend. Not that.
So Joe Rogan was trending this morning because Mark Zuckerberg went on there and said that after the FBI basically told him or told the company that they needed to watch for Russian disinformation, that the Hunter Biden story was subsequently algorithmically restricted for 7 days. So some people are saying, well, that is a clear First Amendment violation against your right to a free press if the government is telling essentially a publisher, you must stop this story, or saying you must fix this Russian problem. Oh yeah, by the way, we believe this story to be Russian in nature.
Yeah.
It's.
I seem to think that because Russia, it supersedes everything. You don't have a right to this because it has Russia involved.
That has been a theme I've noticed myself.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
I don't like it either because it sounds like a convenient boogeyman at the end.
It is a bit of a no. Let's not.
I'm not quite a fan because I think it's just an excuse. Which, I mean, it is. It is totally an excuse because, I mean, the FBI investigating Donald Trump is already kind of interesting. Did you hear that Gavin McInnes had also been...
Yeah, I saw the... because the live stream was still up for 2 hours afterwards, but I don't know anything beyond it.
As far as I know, they're still looking for answers. I don't think they have one yet.
Huh.
So, as far as we know, I mean, he could have been arrested.
Well, that'll be interesting for next week, wouldn't it?
Well, it kind of plays into that whole, okay, so you're rating your political opponents. Now you're now you're going to be arresting people who have any kind of connection to the groups that you don't like. After a while, it starts sounding pretty Stasi. And we don't do that here, so why is it happening?
I don't know.
So that's kind of McCarthyism. There you go. So that's more or less what we've got going on in terms of Trump and the inevitable fuckery that is going to be our midterms.
Your midterms are going to be very interesting.
I'm kind of very skeptical of them right now.
I mean, most of us are because, legitimacy. But it should be interesting regardless.
True. Well, do you have anything else you would like to talk about? Or we're a little under this time, so we can end it here before I just, ramble on some other random topic.
Do you have anything you'd like to promote?
No, if you really really want to follow me, and find all the things that I have to say and find out if I'm doing anything either on YouTube or on Twitch, then realistically follow me on Twitter because I will post there. That's the place where you're going to find me most of the time.
I will. I'm toying with releasing that video I've been working on. If I do, it'll be after this or tomorrow. I'll keep you all updated. And I probably won't. I'll probably just release it and go from there. As we're done, unless Trups isn't here next week, we shall be here on Friday.
I have to check back with you.
Rain check. We'll find out. Yeah. If not, don't worry. There are research streams next week. Should be a laugh. Thank you all very much for joining us. Thank you for the likes and for the comments. We do appreciate it. Sorry we didn't engage as much. We'll hope to improve on that. We'll see you soon. So say goodnight, Trups.
Good night, Trups.